Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at Wick Editor, and we're going to show you about taking multiple objects and animating multiple objects, which is your first step in creating a movie and just multiple things going on and multiple interactive things going on. So your first step in creating like a nice animated story. So, but the first thing, before we get into that, I think I want to get into just the settings of our project first. We've got this inspector up here, and we can really change what our movie looks like. So we're going to look at our settings first, and I didn't do this in our first movie. We're going to do it right now. First thing, I'm going to make a title for my project. So we're going to call this Pizza. Oops. And I'm going to choose any background color. I will leave it as white for now, but we can change the background of our stage. The settings here, the background size, like say if you're going to do like a banner ad or you're going to make a full-blown movie, you would adjust the size of your screen. And so like this, if we were making like a full movie that was going to go on our TV, we would do it at 1080p right now because that's the size of our TV screen. Also, I'd probably bump up the frames per second because 12 isn't very big whatsoever, to like about movies are 24 frames a second, as well as television is 30 frames a second or 29.99. So for right now, I think I'm just going to, actually we'll do it at 720, which is also like a high definition, sort of high definition television. And we'll leave it, and I'm going to do 24 frames a second. It's kind of like a medium thing. And so our screen is like way big right now. Just going to click on the zoom out function. Okay, so let's start drawing. Oh yeah, and so our frame rate right now, like we see a lot of frames, and if I go to 24, like that's only 1 second in length. So down here, I can actually adjust how to the size of my frames, and so I'll just make my size like smaller. Like I could make it like gigantic. Why would we want to do that? So we want to do it smaller. And so there's like 1 second in time. Okay. So let's just build something. I'm going to start drawing, and I'm going to draw my background first. Okay. So let's just click on the brush tool, and right now it's just set for black. So let's just go to like maybe like a warmer kind of color, like around there. That kind of looks kind of gross. Let's warm that up a little bit. Something like that. Okay, good. And so let's just start drawing. I guess that had to go. And it doesn't want it. There we go. Didn't want to draw it for me for a second there. Okay. And then we're going to just go up like that. And then go up like that. And then up. Okay, so I want to fill this in with this orangey kind of yellowy color. And so I would use the paint bucket in order to do that. But unfortunately, I can't do that. It's not going to, oh, look at that. The shape you are filling has a gap, okay? Because I deliberately made a gap there. So we just got to make sure that this is filled in, and then we can fill that in with a color, okay? So let's change this to a nice red color. And I'm going to go back to my brush here, and we're just going to just do the, there we go, and like that. There we go, and we'll fill that in. And then we're going to have this little bit of weight. And if you saw the title of my project obviously is pizza, so obviously we're making a pizza right here. And then I'm just going to put on some mozzarella. There we go. Gotta have the mozzarella. We're not doing double cheese though. I'm not a fan of double cheese. Okay, good enough. Okay, so there's my crust. Must be a thick crust. And so my movie right now is only 1 frame long. If I play it, like obviously nothing's going to happen. I've got no animation or anything. So I'm just going to make it, we'll make it 48, and we're going to just drag this thing out. So now my movie is 48 frames long. That is 2 seconds because we've set it to be 24 frames a second. Like let's add some stuff on our pizza, and I want to make these things animate. So what I'm going to do is, if you want things to animate independently, they have to be on their own layer. Okay, so you, because you know Photoshop, know about layers, and so this should come in handy. We've got our layer 1 here, our base layer. If you want something to animate independently, it has to be in its own layer. So I click on this, and it's made me a new layer. I'm going to take that layer and put it on top, because otherwise it would be in behind. Let's start drawing. Okay, so actually I'm going to use the ellipse tool here, and I'm going to just go back to the dark red here, and let's actually just going to draw an ellipse, and we're going to make our pepperoni here. Make some little sizzle marks here. Okay, good. Now I've got a bunch of different things here. I can, with my selection tool here, I can select them like individually, but I am going to have like the whole thing animate. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is let's add more frames, just like we did in our first, just moving the ball across, right? And so I'm going to just have this here. I'm going to shrink this down. Just like with the free transform tool, I can shrink this down. Okay, and if I hold my mouse out here, I can rotate. So we're going to do that in a second. I'm just going to put that, the pepperoni on the pizza there. It's time to tell the computer that we want to animate. So we've got our point A, our beginning position. We're going to hit this little keyframe button here. It says add tween, because we want the computer to fill in between with its animation. So it's called tweening. So we're going to add our first keyframe, and that's what that guy is there. See how it just went black? And this tells me, oh yeah, you've told it to animate, but there's no point B yet. Oh, so we're going to just go across here, about here, say, and we're going to just move this up in the sky here. We'll just like, it's going to be like some Mexican jumping pepperoni or something. Okay, so it's going to be like about there, and then it's just going to come back down. Okay. In fact, like later on, so once I've told, do you notice that? Once I told the computer to do it the first time, I told the computer that I'm going to animate the pepperoni. Once I went along later on in time and I moved it, it automatically added a new keyframe here. Okay, so that's important to remember. And then actually here, I'll make it bigger just to show you that it does that. Okay. So now we see that it goes like this. Okay, so let's just do it again. Okay, like we want to have multiple things animating. So let's add another layer. Going to drag it to the top. Okay. Going to take this item here, and actually, can I do that here? Can I copy and paste a whole layer? Yeah, look at that. It pasted a whole layer. I didn't even need to do that. So, so now if I click on that guy, oh, it went in behind. That's interesting. Let's go undo. What if I were just to take that one item and then just copy it? And then I go up here to the first one, and then I paste it down. I think that's just like a little more solid way of doing it. There we go. I like that. And then, so now we're going to drag that out, so we have two of them. And so it's very important that you have to have them on their own layer, okay? Because then just it screws up all the keyframe stuff. So we're going to animate this second one. Going to add the tween, and then maybe we'll just do it a little bit later on in time. This guy, because I've added the tween and I've told the computer I want to animate, then we're going to have this guy go this way, and he's going to enlarge, go big here, and then here he'll go back small again, and then they just come down to rest, and he'll come down to rest sooner. So he's coming sooner. And so when it gets to that point, it'll come down sooner, but then it'll just stay there because I haven't told it anywhere to go after that. Okay. So now if we play it, there we've got multiple layers. Okay. So with that said, you can have like trees going by in the background. You can animate somebody walking with different limbs going anywhere. Like using this principle, you could do a lot. Okay, so that is today's lesson.